So there's this question popping up from a whole new generation. Who even is MJ? And man, what a question. Because we're not just talking about some singer. We're talking about a force of nature.
And that right there, that gets to the heart of it. His name wasn't just something you knew. It was something the entire world felt. It was like this global emotion. It's wild to think about, but it's true.
So to really get who he was, you gotta go way back, all the way to the beginning. Because this wasn't a talent that was learned. Nope, this was something he was born with.
And this is what's absolutely nuts. He joined the Jackson 5 at 5 years old. 5. While other kids are learning their ABCs, he's on stage singing ABC to the whole world. And when he belted out hits like I Want You Back or I'll Be There, people were just floored. The control, the stage presence, from a little kid, you just knew you were watching something incredibly special.
And then, 1979 hits. Off the Wall drops. And this was his big breakout moment. His declaration. It wasn't just another album. It was a warning shot to the entire music industry that a new force was here and he was about to change the game. He went from a star to a full-blown supernova.
But hold on, because as big as that was, it was just the warm-up. The real revolution was just around the corner. This is when an artist becomes an icon. This is when a man becomes a myth.
Okay, just look at this number. Over 70 million copies. Let that sink in for a second. 70 million. To this day, Thriller is the best-selling album of all time. Period. And honestly, it's not even close. It's a record that's just untouchable.
And that number makes perfect sense when you realize Thriller wasn't just an album. It was a cultural event. Before Micheal, music videos were, well, they were kind of just ads for the song. He turned them into cinematic blockbusters. He made them something you had to see. He completely changed the music industry forever.
And think about the songs. You had Thriller, this epic mini-movie. You had Beat It with that insane rock vibe. And Billie Jean, that bass line is legendary. These weren't just hits that faded away. No way. They became part of our cultural DNA. They were the era.
But it wasn't just what you heard on the radio. Oh no. To really get it, you had to see him. On stage, it was like gravity just worked differently for Michael Jackson.
So, you gotta picture this. It's 1983, the Motown 25 special. The opening notes of Billie Jean's startup. And then, he does it. A single move that just absolutely blew everyone's mind.
The Moonwalk. Just like that. In a few seconds of gliding backwards like he was on ice, he redefined what was possible on a stage. It was pure magic. It wasn't just a dance. It was a message. I can do the impossible and I'll make it look easy.
And that's the key difference, right? Most performers, they move with the beat. They dance on the stage. Micheal, he created his own physics. He made the stage come alive. He didn't just follow dance trends. He became a dance genre. The man was his own category. And look, his reign just kept going. Thriller wasn't a one-off. It was just the beginning. Off the Wall in '79 kicked it off. Then Thriller in '82 changed everything. But then comes Bad in '87, which had a record-breaking 5 #1 hits from one album. Can you believe that? 5. And in '91, Dangerous drops. And he's not just making pop hits anymore. He's tackling big, socially conscious themes. It was an unstoppable run, a true dynasty.
But, for all the electrifying moves and the screaming crowds, there was a whole other side to him. A quieter, but just as powerful side.
On stage, he was a thunderstorm. Pure energy. His concerts were so intense, fans would literally faint from the sheer excitement. He had this incredible command over massive crowds, a total master of his craft.
But then, off stage, all that energy went somewhere completely different. He was deeply committed to charity work, supporting more than 39 different organizations. We're talking millions and millions of dollars donated, all to help people.
And this really says it all. He wasn't just here to entertain us, he genuinely wanted to make the world a better place. His Heal the World Foundation wasn't just for show. It was a real mission for him, trying to bring attention to the needs of children and promote a message of peace and unity.
So what happens when a force like that leaves us? Well, an era doesn't just end. Its legacy lives on. And man, what a legacy it is.
I'm sure many of you remember that day, June 25th, 2009. The news broke, and the world just stopped. Seriously. Websites crashed, it was everywhere. It felt like the music died. Over 1 billion people, 1 billion, watched his memorial. That's how much he meant to the world.
You know, you try to find a word for him. Singer, dancer, entertainer, none of them feel big enough. They're just too small. The only word that really fits is phenomenon, something totally unique, an exceptional occurrence that just happens once.
And his legacy? You can still see it and feel it everywhere. It's not just the 400 million records sold or the countless world records. Think about this. He basically forced MTV to play videos by black artists. They didn't want to, but Billie Jean was so massive they had no choice. He changed the industry. And today, look at any pop star, any K-pop group. You see his influence. The style, the moves, the showmanship, it's all still here.
So yeah, at the end of the day, Michael Jackson wasn't just a name. He was an entire era. You can't put him in a box. He was so much more than a person. He was a moment in time that changed everything.
It just keeps going, it keeps inspiring, and it reminds us that while the man may be gone, the king of pop never really left.